We turn now to that remarkable scientific breakthrough. 13,000 years after the last dire wolf walked the Earth, scientists say they've now brought them back.
What do you get when you mix a sci-fi lab, ancient DNA, and a pinch of Jurassic Park madness? Apparently, a real-life dire wolf. Yes, that dire wolf, the Ice Age predator, the beast made famous by Game of Thrones. It's no longer extinct. It's walking, breathing, and eating again. And no, this isn't clickbait. This is cutting-edge science, and possibly the beginning of something much bigger and a little terrifying. In a high-security lab in Dallas, Texas, a team of geneticists at Colossal Biosciences has done the unthinkable. They've brought an extinct predator back to life. Let that sink in. The last time a dire wolf walked the earth, humans were living in caves and hunting with spears. These creatures went extinct over 13,000 years ago, and now they're being reintroduced into the modern world. But who are these scientists?
Tonight, a howl 13,000 years in the making. In a first for science, biotech company Colossal Biosciences says it brought the extinct dire wolf back to life, a species that hasn't walked the earth since the Stone Age.
Colossal Biosciences isn't just your average biotech startup. Their whole mission is focused on one thing: de-extinction. Not just studying fossils, undoing extinction itself. And the dire wolf? That's just step one. So, how do you resurrect an Ice Age apex predator? Step 1. Start with a gray wolf. Turns out, gray wolves share 99.5% of their DNA with dire wolves. They're like genetic cousins, close enough to serve as a base.
We've taken a gray wolf genome, a gray wolf cell, which is already genetically 99.5% identical to dire wolves.
Step 2. Use CRISPR, a gene editing tool that lets scientists precisely cut, tweak, and rewrite DNA like it's Microsoft Word.
We extracted DNA from 2 fossils that we knew from previous work had some amount of preserved ancient DNA. We were able to generate 2 genomes, 2 direwolf genome sequences from that, which we then compared to all the other wolves for which there's already been data generated.
Step 3. Insert the ancient dire wolf genes into the modern gray wolf's genome, line by line, mutation by mutation.
Our goal in the Dire Wolf Project, just like with all de-extinction projects, is to re-engineer the core traits, the core characteristics that made these extinct species unique and able to fill whatever role that they filled in their ecosystems when they were still alive.
It's like upgrading a wolf from version 1.0 to prehistoric beast mode. The result? A genetically engineered animal that looks like a dire wolf, acts like a dire wolf, and, according to the scientists, is a dire wolf.
Looks like a dire wolf, it will behave like a dire wolf, and it is a dire wolf.
They even gave it a name, Romulus. He's 7 months old, growing fast, and reportedly doing great. Probably wondering why his chew toys don't fight back like mastodons used to. Now here's where things get even crazier. Colossal isn't stopping at wolves. They've already got their next prehistoric VIP lined up, the woolly mammoth. Yep, by 2028, they plan to reintroduce genetically engineered mammoths into the wild. Real ones, furry ones, tusks and all. Why? Well, they say it's about restoring balance to fragile ecosystems, especially in the Arctic tundra.
It would be really amazing to see a mammoth. It would be great for the habitats of Tasmania to have a keystone predator reintroduced into that ecosystem. But the tools that we're developing on the path to these species have immediate application to species that are not yet extinct.
Mammoths once helped maintain the permafrost by trampling snow and knocking down trees. Their return could, in theory, slow climate change. But it's also about proving that extinction doesn't have to be permanent. And let's be honest, it's also about flexing the full muscle of modern genetic science. Still, the question hanging in the air is this: just because we can, should we? Critics are already warning that de-extinction isn't the miracle it seems to be.
You're playing with nature. Nature usually wins. Nature is much more complicated than the ability of our brains to understand it. Genes do many things. There may be a lot of unintended consequences. Let's say we alter a gene to make extra hair or to make it burn metabolism more, burn fat more. Those genes may do other things in ways that we just don't even understand. So we may create animals that have lots of medical problems. If we start tinkering with genes, we may create a super mouse, a super rat that kills all the other animals around.
For one, these revived animals are entering ecosystems that have changed dramatically since they last existed, introducing predators like dire wolves or giant herbivores like mammoths could throw nature into chaos, or worse, create entirely new problems we're not ready for.
There's a huge need to help prevent animals from becoming endangered and going extinct. We need to spend more money on conservation. Particularly now, there's a lot of threats that lands that we have as national parks and as preserves are going to be used for drilling oil, for instance. So there's a lot of habitats where species now live that are going to be under threat. And there's not enough money to help with conservation efforts.
Then there's the ethical question. Are we playing God? Is it fair to bring back creatures just to study them, or watch them live in a world they weren't meant for? And what if these animals don't behave the way we expect? What if a genetically re-engineered dire wolf acts a little differently? These aren't questions for the future. They're questions for right now. Because this isn't a theory anymore. It's already happening. The line between science fiction and reality, it just disappeared. We're now living in a world where the ancient past can be downloaded from a database and printed back into existence, where genetic resurrection isn't a dream, it's a deliverable. And the creatures we've read about in textbooks are coming back. So the next time you see a wolf, maybe give it a second look. It might not just be from the forest, it might be from another era entirely. The age of extinction is over. The age of resurrection has begun. But the real question isn't, can we bring these creatures back, or should we? What do you think about this incredible science achievement? Please comment below. Be sure to subscribe our channels to see more similar interesting animal videos.